What's up, cows? It's your favorite vamp cow back at it again with another React Andy. This time round, well, we're hearing more news about the Odyssey. Apparently this time round, the critical drinker that is getting into trouble again. Who knows? Maybe for once he had a bad take, but I would just believe it's a bunch of chronically online losers that are like, you don't like this movie? El Riz? I mean, people still hate this guy because he basically listed everything that was wrong with, like, The Boys. It was either the season 3 or season 4 of The Boys. He listed everything that was dog shit about it from just watching the trailer alone. And people were just like, oh, you lost all credibility. Oh, because he was right, and he didn't even choose to watch it. Listen, man, I can tell you, I watched it myself, and everything he said was right. So, take that as you will. Well, let's see what is going on with here, though.
Here. So in this video, I'll be once again talking about Christopher Nolan's adaptation of the Greek epic, The Odyssey. Now, the discourse surrounding this film has been an absolute circus, and that will continue in this video. Now, with the box office numbers, the media is claiming victory with this film, claiming the narrative...
Well, of course, because if they continue to say it's great, you know, maybe some people will actually believe it, and then it'll get more money, too.
...of go woke, go broke has been shattered. It's now a proven myth. Now, of course, Vanity Fair here would be...
Let's see, made over $264 million this weekend. Yeah, didn't Arknight's Enfield also make like $200 million within the very first month? How good is Arknight's Enfield doing again? Let's see. Arknight's Enfield. Twitch tracker. Let's see. 200 million the very first the very first month of this game's existence. What does Twitch tracker say about how it's doing now? Oh, would you look at that? Oh, wow. Ooh, what a wow. Isn't that amazing? The 1.4 spike got barely, what is that? Barely even like 25% of what's all-time peak did. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Views per channel 23. Wow, that's it. L. So how much did the Odyssey cost again? Isn't that have to be publicly released? Let's see. The ODY SSEY BUDGET budget. Let's see. Production cost 250 million. Breakpoint projected around 625 and 150 million globally, and it has made 264 million this weekend. I mean, yeah, they're only like 500 million off from, you know, breaking even. This movie's a success, guys. It's a success. See, it's only maybe like 400 million away from breaking even. Only 400 million. But it did good on like its first couple of days of existing, yeah?
Be very, very afraid to look at films like, I don't know, The Marvels, Supergirl, Snow White, and the endless other examples of films that had woke elements and bombs at the box office. But of course, a lot of people expected this film to do very well, including its critics. This was something that was not expected to completely bomb at the box office, myself included. I said that this would do well. It was just a question of how much did they limit their maximum reach with the creative decisions made by Nolan. But most importantly, this has served as a very important case study for woke Hollywood and what they're trying to get away with. In fact, with this...
Well, you know, they're just trying to see how much they can, like, brainwash the public. How much they can gaslight the public into believing that this thing is successful when it's really not.
Film, the more we learn about it, the worse things get. In fact, recently, Christopher Nolan, the director, has come out and said that he changed the ending of his film and departed from the source material because the source material's end was so grim and misogynistic. The narcissism of these woke Hollywood...
I thought we were being authentic to the film. Isn't that why there wasn't going to be an orchestra? Okay. You know, this is just like the interpretation of like the newer Fahrenheit 451, where at the end of the new version, the Fahrenheit 451, instead of the guy surviving and then learning to become a living book to then help like the future generation, he just becomes a martyr. He just gamins himself and doesn't really change anything. Yeah. Amazing adaptation.
Wood directors.
It's almost like as if the ending is treasured for a reason. It's not like Oshinoko, where the ending is abysmally dog shit, and it makes complete sense to change it. It's not like JJK's ending, where it's also, like, pretty rushed, too, and it would make sense to maybe add a bit more to that. JJK is not, like, garbage, though. What other anime has, like, a really, really terrible ending? I'm trying to think now. Let me see. Let me what other anime has, like, a really, like, shit ending? Like, I mean, I guess Be the Beginning, Season 2, because that's just a cliffhanger, and there's still not a Season 3. Fire Force had, like, an okay ending overall. Chainsaw Man! Chainsaw Man, that's another good example of an anime that has, well, manga that has an abysmally dogshit ending. Where there's just so many plot holes. There's just so many plot threads that just get cut off because I think Tatsuki Fujimoto just got bored. That, or he's going to make, well, an Act 3 of Chainsaw Man, a Core 3. And see, what other has, like, an extremely mediocre ending that I know of? Huh, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's actually all. That's about it. JJK and JJK-ish. Oshinoko, absolutely. Chainsaw Man, absolutely garbage ending. Like, again, like, there's nothing, why change the ending? Maybe you can change the events a little bit to the ending if the events are kind of mid, but if the ending's good, why are you changing that? Oh no, guys, listen, he was mean to the people at the end. Well, yeah, Odysseus had to, like, endure so much bullshit, so I think I'd be kind of pissed too, and I would, like, game end my servants if they were disloyal. Like, the end, as far as I remember, wasn't the ending of the Odyssey basically, like, the, what was it called? The lesson to be learned was quite literally to be loyal. And again, if you're not loyal, you're punished. Listen, man, I didn't really read the book. I just read, like, the final, like, the final chapter of it for school. I didn't watch the movie either, and I have really no intention for both. But again, from what I remember about the ending was fine. Oh no, he game-ended people. Yeah. Listen, I'm one of the few people that believes that there's nothing wrong with game-ending characters. They're characters in a story. It's a story.
Cannot be under.
Hell, some people deserve to be game-ended in real life. Very few of them. Very few people deserve to be game-ended in real life. None that I can really list offhand. But I can tell you, if I saw one, I could definitely list it out. Oh, actually, wait, yeah, that guy that shanked Zarina Rutska, he's definitely one of the few people that does not deserve to live.
Understated. They're trying to fix the supposedly problematic work of Homer from nearly 3,000 years ago, and they're so smug about it, it's actually insane. And it's also ironic coming from Nolan, who proudly stated that...
So, how is it misogynistic, exactly, as well? Odysseus doesn't just game in the maidservants, period. He game-ins everybody that was disloyal to him. That's not misogyny. I thought equal right. I thought that's equality. Equal rights equals equal fights, isn't it?
That they wouldn't include an orchestra in the score for this film because that didn't exist during the era that the epic took place, and yet here we are changing the ending of the epic to adapt to modern times. In fact, there's a lot of weird decisions going on here. In fact, there is a story about a Viking ship that was used in this film, and allegedly it was damaged during the filming, and the owner claims the studio has not paid them. Also, on top of that, you have them...
Yeah, they probably don't have the money to pay for them because their movie's not doing good.
Media.
They're not even breaking even yet.
Trying to blame all the backlash on right-wingers while saying that they're only mad about this film because its diverse cast goes against the sort of...
You know what? How about we look up how much money is made so far, instead of just seeing what's made on the weekend? How much money has the ODY SSEY 2026 made so far? Holy Sigma, who the fuck? Supposedly almost 400 million. Nearly halfway there.
In Crow universe, they love to see, especially when it comes to older scenes in media. Insane. But things would definitely get to a tither here, ladies and gentlemen.
A disastrous Trump. Does bro actually have a positive review of this? Quite fascinating for the guy that said that, well, again, critical drinker, didn't watch like either season 3 or season 4 of The Boys and immediately called it dog shit. And, well, I can tell you everything he said was garbage based upon the trailer was true. So, hey, maybe he watched the movie, maybe he liked it. Okay. You can there's plenty of bad movies that people like. Or plenty of controversial movies people like, where many people also don't like it. Hey, that's normal. That's human.
When Critical Drinker,
it's how we know bro isn't an AI,
would make his final review on this film, people are crashing out. They're very upset about what he said in this video, or what they think he said in many cases, and that's going to be the main focus of this video. But let's backtrack to that.
Based on the title alone, seems like he's giving a positive review.
That quote from Christopher Nolan. You can see other accounts posting about this and getting hit with proposed notes. If you've noticed, on almost every post sharing a negative view of this film, or sharing something that even the director himself said, it's getting hit with proposed notes. They're trying so hard to abuse the note system to add context where the context isn't even.
In Homer's Odyssey, after the studios are game-ended, Odysseus forces 12 female servants to haul away the corpses and scrub the blood from the halt. He then orders their execution. Telemachus refuses them an honorable death by the sword and hangs them instead. Okay. So, okay.
But of course, this goes back to Christopher Nolan changing the ending because the original was so grim and misogynistic. And of course...
Yeah, isn't that like the fun part about the book, though, is that it was just so diabolically grim? Isn't that why people like grim fairy tales? It was because of how like evil the endings are and tragic most of the time.
Going back to his previous statements, Christopher Nolan refused to use an orchestra for the score of this film because it didn't exist during the era of the source material, but here we are with the...
People love reusing that point. Do I really care that much about bro deciding not to use an orchestra because it wasn't existent back then? No, but I do think it is pretty corny to, well, change a, like, decent but edgy ending. That's what I believe.
These changes.
Even excluding the idea that, you know, even excluding the idea that Nolan was supposed to be, what's the word? Being consistent with the source material.
And people are quick to point out how ridiculous this entire situation is. Here's one quote saying, "I, for one, am glad Nolan was able to correct the mistakes that Homer made. Just another example of heroes on Hollywood being able to right the wrongs, just like The Witcher and Lord of the Rings."
What did the Lord of the Rings do wrong? What did The Witcher do wrong? The entire gimmick of The Witcher is, you know, most of the time being kind to the animals because the animals and the monsters are like misunderstood. What?
Here's another one in quotes. "We're making a movie about pre-Columbian America here, but let's not show any human sacrifices or anything like that. That would be grim and problematic." Now, of course, this is referring to Mel Gibson's film Apocalypto, which, of course, kind of tarnishes what Nolan is doing. Mel Gibson did a much better job of respecting the culture he was featuring in his film than Nolan ever did. I mean, it's pretty easy when Nolan didn't feature a single Greek actor in his film about a Greek epic. But here's some more quotes with a screenshot of Achilles here saying, "That is why no one will remember your name."
Real.
And here's another reply saying, "Except Homer's work has been around for thousands of years, while Nolan's legacy will boil down to that one time he worked with Heath Ledger."
Ooh, got him. That's so real, so true.
And here is another quote saying, "Nolan is a woke midwit who's bent the knee to the madness. Give the $7 million you took from Greek taxpayers back." He used the character names as skin suits to make a story about this melting pot society. And yes, that melting pot society, that diverse cast that was featured by Nolan, is something that is heavily mocked and criticized for departing from, well, Greek culture. But don't worry, the journalists over at The Atlantic have an answer to this, saying, "A faction of the right is angry over diverse casting in the Odyssey, showing that it imagines antiquity as a kind of idyllic Jim Crow universe in which..."
This is, whoever wrote that, they thought that using big words makes them smart. No, you can use all the big words you want, but you can use them improperly. It makes you just look like a retard instead. Uh Whoever wrote that, you look like a retard, and you probably are a retard. And I'm happy that AI is taking over your job, and you will be unemployed soon.
The integration they despise could not possibly exist. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have found it the most petulant and pathetic article ever written that is dismissing any criticism of this film as the outrage of the right who want a Jim Crow universe, the Jim Crow cinema.
It is amazing how people will always cry about authentic casting, but then as soon as white character or white adjacent character gets replaced by a black character, oh, that's fine, guys. Listen, we don't need authentic casting anymore. It's perfectly fine. Oh, so what? This is a Greek novel. We should have all the African Americans as we want in this. You know what? Let's just make Odysseus. Let's make Achilles. Let's make Achilles Asian. Let's make Odysseus black. You know what? Let's just make like the ship white, and the ship gets destroyed at the end.
Cinematic universe display.
We're already changed the ending a little bit, so might as well change some other stuff too.
And every piece of media they consume. That's the only reason why they're criticizing this film. Hey, The Atlantic, what about people with Greek heritage who are writing articles extremely upset about the lack of Greek representation in this film? Are they right-wingers? Are they looking for a Jim Crow universe? Yeah, I don't think so. That just shows how ridiculous all this is.
Anyone that actually wants authentic casting is just upset that they're not good enough to, well, take the place of whatever current actor is taking place of a certain character's race in a story. Like, there's plenty of black actors that voice white characters, and I literally have zero issues with that because they fit. Their voice fits the character, or they make their voice fit the character, or the fact is that they just have a good voice and it kind of fits with almost anything. And they actually have a good voice acting performance. People that I've seen with that want authentic casting, typically their voice acting skills are not even mediocre. They're subpar. Like, I think I could find theater kids at a high school that would do a better job of voice acting than, well, the average person that cares for authentic casting.
Now, the other thing we recently talked about is the reviews for this film, the Rotten Tomatoes fiasco, where the critics gave it a near 100% score. And as pointed out by people like Asmongold, there's...
You know, thanks to the Odyssey, I finally come to the conclusion that Rotten Tomatoes is not a trustworthy website. If you want to use that as like a, I don't know, a control group for what is, well, not even a control group. If you want to see what botted reviewed website is, that's what you should look at. If you want to see a less botted, then you'd probably go to Metacritic now. If anything, you should just, you know, watch 3 or 4 reviews of a film and hear like the various different opinions. One person that loves it, one person that hates it, and then maybe 2 people that are like sort of ish in the middle.
There's definitely something very manufactured about this, but you have journalists like Paul Tass.
Now, I can't blame anybody, though, if they don't want to watch, like, 4 reviews. Even if, like, each review is maybe 8 minutes, that is still about, like, 32 minutes of your time just to, like, learn whether or not a movie is worth watching.
Just saying, trust Rotten Tomatoes, and then they laugh even more when the audience score showed a 97%, which seems extreme.
97%. 368 million worldwide, which would be good if the lowest projected the lowest projected not profit, not gross budget. The lowest projected budget was 625 million. They still have yet to make their breaking point on their opening week. Like, yeah, if it's not hit the breaking point on the opening week yet, I don't think it's gonna anytime soon.
Extremely hard to believe, given the final trailer for this film got 110,000
and that's being generous and going with the lowball budget.
10,000 likes versus nearly 1 million dislikes. Now, of course, the like to dislike ratio on a YouTube trailer is not going to be a 1-to-1 fit with the reviews. Nobody is saying that. But this level of backlash does not result in a 97%.
Yeah, because most people that think of the trailer looks like shit, they're not going to watch it to begin with.
Audience score. If you believe that, I don't know what to tell you, but things came out where we learned that these Rotten Tomato scores are very artificial and manipulated, where the real audience score is actually around a 56%. It seems like Rotten Tomatoes, not just on this film, but on many other films as well, are manipulating the score by removing negative reviews, and they say it's all just trolls and bot posts, but it's odd how every troll and bot post seems to be a negative.
Always happens to be trolls and bots whenever anything negative happens, but it's never trolls or bots whenever anything positive happens. Isn't that amazing?
Review. In fact, there's other weird things going on in this film where the theaters are constantly sold out, but when people show up to the theaters, there's plenty of empty seats. But you know, one person who showed up to the theaters, that is, of course, the Critical Drinker. Yes, people were waiting for his review, some more than others. In fact, you have this user saying, the Critical Drinker hasn't tweeted.
Hey, yo, it's that loser that's the #1 Blanca main on Sony. Not anymore. It's actually me. I'm the #1 Blanca main on Sony PlayStation. It's confirmed by Ubisoft. You can just ask Ubisoft, send them an email right now. They will confirm it for you.
A main tweet since July.
By the way, this is like that guy's entire personality. So imagine like Pirate Software, but instead of Pirate Software being saying, I work at Blizzard, Birdman here says, I am the #1 Blanca main. Congratulations. How does that validate your opinion? Oh, right, it doesn't.
Locking the replies after getting mocked, and of course, Critical Drinker would quote them saying, guess you missed that I've been in South Carolina since July 14th then. Very interesting, but eventually he would get to his review. The Odyssey, a disastrous triumph. To boil down his review, he basically says the movie is meh. It's boring, it's not that memorable, it's something that people will forget about very soon. And he also criticizes again some of the casting choices, but people were very upset about this on social media. You can see this post in quotes, the Odyssey, a disastrous triumph, end quote, ha ha ha, S-tier cope.
Did Bro even watch it? I mean, I didn't watch it.
Another quote saying, the king of chuds has finally arrived by calling the Odyssey a disastrous triumph. Sure, buddy, whatever you say. And then there's a quote.
Did these people even watch the video? Doesn't even seem like that happened.
Of a different one saying, the Critical Drinker and variations of his types are not real people. Oh, wow, they're not even real people. I can't believe this. Critical Drinker, he's not even real. They don't have a single real thought. They are parasites. Cancer inside society. All they do is spread hate and lie. These people are the lowest lows. We have to start acknowledging these people as a sickness.
I see. So people with wrong think are a disease, and you must purge the disease. I think you have wrong think. I think you're a disease, and I think we should purge you. I'm just going by his ideas and his values, his rules, you know?
These are like the anti-fascists, right? These are the progressive people, calling people parasites and not real people.
Yes, the progressives, the open and accepting progressives, unless you disagree with them, in which case you're not allowed to disagree with them on anything.
I'm a cancer to society. Notice during this entire heart-wrenching soliloquy here, this person never said anything that he said was wrong. They never point out a single thing that they disagree with. It's just dehumanizing language because they have nothing else. They don't know how to deal with the review, so instead, they're just attacking him as a person, if he's even considered a person to them anymore. But here's another outrageous reach, where this user says, you're saying this movie is actually going to see a box office decline over time? Like, it will make more when it opens than in subsequent weeks? I've been doing this for 35 years, and I've never seen such a thing. What a disaster for Nolan. He'll never make another film with a...
Huh? Hold on. You're saying this movie is actually going to see a box office decline over time? Yeah. That's how that works. Are you retarded? Things don't just... There's a reason why things called a peak exist. I'm sure if we had revenue charts, it would show us that like the revenue peaked on like the first 3 days of the film existing. Yeah, it's going to go down now. Whether that is I don't know, whether that's like a 89-degree decline or like 85, or it's more like a slope. Who's to say? Who knows? We can't track that. We don't have those numbers. But seeing as the movie has made almost 400 million worldwide, and the budget was at the least 650 million, the possibility of them breaking even anytime soon now is extremely low. And even then, though, breaking even on a 650 million movie is not an achievement. That is pathetic.
Screenshot, not of Critical Drinker, but instead of a random Reddit.
I've never seen such a thing. What are you talking? Are you this guy's retarded? I've never seen a game. I've never seen a movie go down after it peaked. Are you retarded? You're genuinely a fucking nunce. Holy. Oh, sorry. Wait. Nunce means PDF file. My bad. I keep forgetting. I think that's the word for calling someone stupid, but no, that's the British word for someone calling a PDF file.
User on the related subreddit.
Anyways, yeah, this guy's a retard. Hey, you know what? How about this? Let's look up a marathon Steam charts. So according to him, for like the first week a game exists, it will continuously go up. Oh, that's strange. What do you know? Well, hold on. My bad. Let's see. Let's go to 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Whoa, that's crazy, dude. June 1st, it peaked at like 40,000, and then it went down across a week? What? That can't be possible. That doesn't make sense. What? How? That's beyond logic. There must be another game. Where that can't be the case. Arknight's Enfield Twitch tracker. Surely there's not another game where it peaks out and it goes down. Hold on. Oh no! No! What? That can't be possible! No! That's impossible! Hold on. Let's look up a good video game. Elden Ring. Twitch tracker. There's no way that Elden Ring went down in, like, people watching it across, like, the week it was made. No! Oh no! This guy's retarded. Fucking dumbass. The shit always goes down once, like, it peaks out. Usually the very first, like, 2 or 3 days a game exists is when it peaks. Unless it's like a Fall Guys situation, whereas a soft release and then a bunch of streamers kind of discover it one day and they all start simultaneously playing it. Even then, though, people, again, like, streamers played Fall Guys for maybe a week or two, and then it fell off. It's called a peak. Dumbass.
And like sheep, a bunch of people in the replies are saying, now you got Richard Roper clowning the Critical Drinker. A lot of people were believing that this post was made by Critical Drinker himself, and don't worry, guys, he was there to clarify. I know everyone was worried it was his post, but he said, LOL, you actually think I wrote
Who? What? Why would people believe he wrote that?
this? I don't even use Reddit. Adding further, trying to associate me with the opinion of some random...
Wait, okay, hold on. Is this guy actually... Hold on. I don't even understand. Is this guy agreeing with Critical Drinker, or is he disagreeing? Or is he... Does he have his, like, own unique... It feels like he has his own unique opinion, which is still retarded, though. A movie's actually going to see a box office decline over time. I've never seen a thing. What a disaster for Nolan. This guy's retarded. This guy is just retarded.
I don't even use Reddit. Adding further, trying to associate me with the opinion of some random Reddit user as if they're all extensions of my consciousness. Just pathetic. And overall, I think this quote really sums up everything going on with the discourse, especially with Critical Drinker. People really gave Critical Drinker so much power, and all the man does is review movies. It's like a constant 2 minutes hate at a man that doesn't even know you exist. Kind of funny that you've made him this big part of your life. Many, many such cases. People are very threatened.
Yeah, that's because these people are chronically online and they have nothing better than do in their lives, but, well, constantly pick fight with popular people.
By Critical Drinker, I mean someone who's not a part of the mainstream media who...
Yeah, especially when they don't even have, like, interesting opinions. They just have opinions, well, you're wrong.
Reviews films and people actually listen to his reviews. Of course, it makes these wackadoos very mad because they see that he has actual influence on how people are going to perceive something.
So I thought you'd actually, like, watch a little bit what Critical Drinker said. So It seems like he's kind of neutral upon it, though, because he says it's a disastrous triumph. Unless he's saying that people are making it out to be a triumph when it's not, and it's a disaster. I don't know. I watched that video. I don't really subscribe to him.
Or whether or not they're going to try.
Well, that seems to be the end of the video. If you liked, well, Rev over here showcasing this, all this lovely information to us, especially about the number 3 block of main on PlayStation. I think for, what was the game called again? Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter 4, the number 3 Blanca main on the number 3 Blanca main on Street Fighter 3 or 4. Yeah, if you liked seeing that guy, and Rev says Desu's coverage on this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, a link in the description. Like, comment, subscribe on my video too, and I'll see you Vamp Cows next time. By feast upon my next victim.